Atlanta Business Chronicles Biz. Sponsored by Georgia Power and Go Beyond Profit.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Crystal Edmonson. We begin this week with expansion plans for Porsche Cars North America. The importer and distributor of sports cars is revving up to develop vacant land on its corporate campus next to Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. Now, plans include a state-of-the-art service and repair center. It also wants to rezone about 30 acres of undeveloped land. Porsche hasn't said what it plans to build there, but last year officials said they would expand the test track. The redevelopment could be a boon for Hapeville's economy. Since opening in 2015, the Porsche Experience Center has attracted 200,000 visitors. Co-working giant WeWork is expanding its reach into the Atlanta suburbs. The company says its first suburban location here will be in Sandy Springs. It'll open early next year and house more than 1,200 members. In Atlanta, WeWork already has a strong presence. To give you an idea, if all of its locations were consolidated, WeWork would fill most of the 55-story Bank of America Plaza. This expansion comes as the company seeks to raise about $3 billion ahead of an expected IPO. Well, several big-name retailers are putting down stakes in the Peach State, including Amazon, Kroger, and fashion tech retailer Stitch Fix. Amazon will open a new distribution center in Stone Mountain, creating 1,000 jobs. Kroger plans a high-tech customer fulfillment center in Forest Park. That $55 million project could create more than 400 jobs. Meanwhile, Stitch Fix has its sights set on Douglas County. The company intends to pay roughly $56 million to place a distribution hub in Lithia Springs, but the deal is still in the works. If approved, it would bring another 1,000 jobs to the metro. Well, one of Atlanta's largest hotels now has a new owner. Wheelock Street Capital has purchased the Hilton Atlanta Airport Hotel for a whopping $101 million. The hotel stands on the north side of Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. The deal expands Wheelock's local real estate portfolio. Last year, it purchased Chateau Elan Winery and Resort in Brazelton. The company plans a $25 million renovation of that property. Wheelock also owns most of the assets of Atlanta-based John Whelan Homes and Neighborhoods. 2 new towers could soon be added to Midtown skyline. The project could mean 600 new apartments. Pennsylvania-based Toll Brothers wants to build the project on West Peachtree near the intersection of 10th and Spring Streets. One tower would rise 22 stories and include more than 200 units of student housing. The other would soar 27 stories with nearly 400 units of market-rate apartments. Now, Midtown's Development Review Committee is expected to hear more about the project at its meeting next week. An historic tower on the campus of Morris Brown College, it's getting some important funding. Fountain Hall has received a $75,000 grant from the National Trust for Historic Preservation. Now, Fountain Hall is one of 22 historical sites and organizations awarded nationwide this year. Built in 1882, Fountain Hall housed W.E.B. Du Bois's office, where he wrote his seminal work, The Souls of Black Folk. The vacant and deteriorating structure is the oldest surviving building associated with Atlanta University, one of the first historically black colleges and universities in the South. Coming up,